if you struggle achieving your goals, if you succumb to the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is running rampant in the real estate industry, in our world, and it's inspired by something that my daughter said not too long ago to my wife. And it was just an interesting moment. And I had made a note, this is a couple months ago. And then today in church, the same message was delivered. So I had to come right home and lay this down. And it was something to this effect. I forget exactly what my wife had said. Something like, I wish I can achieve this thing. But my daughter said, well, you know, it's either one day or day one. And when you think about it, when we're not achieving in an area of our life, so if your real estate business isn't where you need it to be, or, you know, your relationship with your spouse isn't where you need it to be, or your physical body, you don't have the energy to push hard in business and then still show up at the end of the day, you know, engaged and energetic with your family and being able to do the double win, the win at home and the win at work, it's likely that you're probably making an excuse. It's okay. You are where you are. Everything you've been through, you know, is the fuel for future growth. At the same time, though, look at the areas of your life that matter and ask yourself the question, are you pushing off? You know, you're just waiting for something to happen to give you permission to start going down the path of achievement. And so many times I see agents that are struggling and they're just not doing the daily work. You know, so all we can really focus is on today. And the message at church today, and this is regardless of your faith, but the message was the same message. You know, one day when was the concept. Like we all tend to say, one day when, you know, my real estate business is, you know, where it needs to be, I can afford to get a bigger house or take the family on vacation or pay down the debt. You know, one day when I have enough money, all the things we worry about. And the pastor pivoted the message and said, one day when, W-I-N. So instead of saying one day when, the one day win is that just do the things we need to do today so that incrementally we will be in a better place in the future. And I've been through it. We do these grand gestures in business and in our relationships and for sure in our physical bodies. We have these New Year's resolutions where we're like, I'm gonna start working out, and then you go to the gym once and you crush it for 2 hours. You do every exercise that there is, and then the next 3-4 days, you can't even like take a poop on the potty without your legs being like, I don't know if you've ever been there. I've certainly been there. And it's not about the grand gestures. You know, it's about the one day wins. And it reminds me of a book, Atomic Habits. But atomic habits are the little habits that lead us to something better in the future. You know, so the one day win in business is that we can do our best this next business day to control our morning, to just sit still for as many hours as possible first thing in the morning and generate new business. This is the thing. There's no magic around it. You need to structure your days. Your one day win has to include that time in the day where you're just generating new business. And then, yeah, maybe after 3 hours of doing that, you know, you could take a little break and then you do your lead follow-up, which is a critical part of new business development, right? So your one day win is just focusing as long as it takes to build the muscle to be able to do that one thing. And then your business is going to start to take care of itself. We used to joke on our real estate agents, it's like herding cats, you know? So if I can keep these cats in one place for as many hours in the morning as possible, so from 8 a.m. to noon, if I can herd these cats to do the actual work of a real estate salesperson, which is generating new business, I've got a shot, they've got a shot at going out in the afternoon and meeting with new clients and selling homes. But if you can't develop the discipline around that one thing, the one day win in business is focusing for as many hours as possible in the morning so that you have a shot of generating enough business where your financial issues will take care of themselves. And this has nothing to do with the real estate market. The real estate market, all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it's just an excuse. For the most part, it's an excuse. I'll talk to someone that says, I'll ask them, you know, so what's your biggest challenge in your business? And they'll say, well, interest rates and there's no inventory. I'm like, like, okay, so the biggest challenge in your business are two things that you have no control over. What, out of the things that you can control, what's the biggest challenge you're having in your business? And then the real conversation starts. The real conversation is that, well, I'm not generating enough leads. I said, okay, so let's talk about that. What do you mean by that? Well, I tried, this company came in, true story. They charged me $10,000. They were going to generate all these leads and build funnels, and literally not a single closing from it. And then, this other thing I tried, it was a AI listing appointment setter, AI bot. They were going to call and set appointments and it didn't work. I'm like, really? An AI bot calling, circle prospecting didn't work. Like, who would have guessed? All of those things are so that you, the agent in our industry, doesn't actually have to do the job of a salesperson. And like it or not, the only way to succeed in this industry, and there are different ways to do it. I was never a cold caller. Even the 12 lead gen levers we have in Real Estate B School, none of them are cold calling, right? So I'm not a cold caller. I don't really think it's the future of business necessarily. It works. There are agents that use it and it works really well. Most of what we teach is attraction-based marketing, but you still need to actually sit down and follow up with the leads that were generated. And when people are coming in asking for information on your different real estate programs, you need to still time block to make those contacts, to have those meaningful conversations so that you can, set appointments the right way, qualify those appointments, get them pre-sold on working with you, and then you sit them down for a buyer consultation or a listing consultation. You sign them up as a client, you deliver on the promises you made in the sales process, and they have such an amazing experience that they're singing your praises and they bring in future business. That's the whole game that we're playing as a real estate agent. But it starts with the simple fact that you need to be willing to do the actual work of a salesperson. And it's the one day win. It's not one day when everything works out, like my family's put together, and then I'll be able to, focus on real estate. You've got a time block. I mean, I know that your personal life is really, really important, but a lot of agents just let the personal slip in with the business, and they're running personal errands for 2 hours in the middle of the day. They don't actually treat real estate like an actual job that you show up for at 8 in the morning and you leave at 6 p.m. and you'll have a break, but an entrepreneurial, growth-minded real estate agent, one that wants to grow their business in a very turbulent, challenging economic period that we're going through, which is not going to end anytime soon. You have to do that work, and there's no way around it. This industry is going to devour you unless you're willing to sit down and do the work, right? So a little bit of a tougher message to hear. Nobody wants to hear, like my wife didn't want to hear from her 13-year-old daughter, hey mom, it's either day one or one day. One day I'll do this, one day I'll do this. Tomorrow is your day one. Whenever you're listening to this, tomorrow is your day one. And it could be your day one that you're going to go for a 30-minute walk. Every day I'm going to go for a 30-minute walk. It could be your day one where I'm going to slow down a little bit with my spouse and I'm going to say something kind to them. I'm going to give them a hug every day and I'm going to tell them that I love them. And even though things are hard right now, we're going to get through this together, right? It could be your day one where you're going to have a little bit of more interaction with your children if you have teenage children. They're hard. I've got 2 of them. It could be your day one in your business where you are going to sit down and get organized, time block your calendar, block out your mornings for new business development, block out your afternoons for appointments with the buyers and sellers that you're setting in the morning, right? Time block in your calendar, your weekly planning session. This is your day one. You can't skip all of the work. We overestimate what we can do in a year, but we drastically underestimate what we can do in 3, 5, or 10 years, right? So think about that. We're like, okay, I'm going to go sell, 2 homes a month or 3 homes a month next year. And instead of building a plan, 3 years from now, I'm going to sell 4 homes a month. And then we just get to work on that plan and we do the actual things every day that will lead us up to that. We have these goals that aren't even in alignment with our actual habits. So getting back to the book, there's a part of the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. You just need to get 1% better every day. So you don't need to go out and work out for 2 hours. You just have to go for a 20 or 30-minute walk. You don't need to, like I did when I wanted to get in shape, I signed up for a marathon. You don't have to sign up for a marathon. You just need to do a little bit every day so that over time, the compound effect will leave you in a place that you won't even be able to recognize. So For some of you, that's the message I had today. It's nothing sexy or, hopefully it's a little bit inspirational. Some of it's common sense, but a lot of us are missing the fact that all we can control is what we're doing today. So it's just simply to take it one day at a time. So if you're at the point in your journey and you've been following us for a while, or you just know that you need help with the structure and cadence and accountability, and you don't know how to build lead gen levers, you don't know how to build lead conversion systems, or consultation frameworks, or lead nurture sequences, or any of that stuff, go to $1,000,000agentmethod.com and watch that 7-minute video. And if it inspires you to take the next step, all I can offer you is a conversation. We call it a strategy session. So go to $1,000,000agentmethod.com and I'll see you on the other side. Be good.